Freelancers, the self-employed, and salespeople all have one thing in common. They struggle to budget given their unpredictable and fluctuating income. Imagine trying to plan your budget when you don't know how much you're going to make, when you're going to get paid, or even what your next month income is going to be. This might sound crazy, however, this is a reality for a lot of self-employed, freelancing, or even salespeople. Hi, Vincent here, and in today's video, we're going over how to budget your money when you have a regular income. And if that sounds good, make sure you smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to always get the latest and greatest from the Simple Dollar. And remember, you can always find this information and a ton more by visiting thesimpledollar.com. While budgeting with a fluctuating source of income isn't exactly rocket science, there are 9 key strategies that I'm gonna let you in on in order to help you succeed as much as possible. First and foremost, before we do anything, you need to understand what is your baseline, and what that means is how much you need in order to actually survive based off the essentials every single month. For some people, this might include rent, utilities, transportation, as well as food, and everything else beyond that stuff would be considered above the baseline. And it's really easy to figure out. All you really need is a pen and paper, and you want to start tallying your expenses, starting off with what your fixed expenses are, and that could include rent or mortgage payments or maybe a telephone bill. However, next is going into more variable expenses, and this could include any commute, transportation, your utility bills, or even groceries. However, that's not all. You also want to account for any money you're going to put into your savings, your investment accounts, or even your debt repayments. And although this isn't crucial or essential to survive, it is really important that you include these into your bare bone minimum budget. The second strategy is to calculate any additional discretionary expenses. So the first step was calculating what is your baseline expense. Now comes all the other discretionary spending, and this could include food, dining out, any hobbies, any entertainment activities that you do, etc. And if you're struggling to actually identify what this amount should be, it's really simple. All you need to do is take out your credit card bills or any bills that you paid for the past couple of months and average out all the discretionary expenses that you spent money on per month to identify what your monthly discretionary spend should be. And if this monthly spend seems a little bit high, then this might be a great opportunity for you to actually decrease your discretionary spending. The third strategy is to start tucking money away for an emergency fund. And if you already have some savings tucked away, then congratulations, you're already at a head start. However, experts do recommend that you have at least 6 months of emergency savings saved up. So definitely double check if that's the case for you. This is especially important if you have fluctuating sources of income, because bad months will come where you don't get as much income as you originally anticipated, and it's really good and nice to have an emergency saving to fill in any gaps that you need. The fourth strategy is to live on your last month's income. So fantastic, you have the total monthly spend that you're expecting from your bare bones minimum essentials, including any discretionary spending, which means that your next month that arrives, you want to tuck away that entire amount into your regular checkings account and nothing more. From here, you want to deposit any additional funds into your short-term or long-term savings accounts. And the whole budgeting based on last month's income is really important because you're budgeting your finances based off of realistic estimations and not some wishful thinking or wishful projections. The fifth strategy is to pay yourself a salary. And remember when I said to deposit the money you needed inside your checkings account in step 4? Well, that's essentially the same thing as paying yourself a salary. And this is pretty phenomenal because before, while you were living off of fluctuating income, now you technically have a steady salary that you'd be paying yourself every single month. And even better, this strategy can actually help you start saving money, because with this strategy, any surplus income that you get will directly go into any short-term or long-term savings accounts. And if it's not, and you're actually still spending more than you're actually saving, then you need to evaluate how much you're actually spending on your bare bones budget in addition to your discretionary spending, and try to tweak those out so you actually start saving some money with surplus. The sixth strategy is to pay your bills with your zero-sum budget. At the first of every single month, you should theoretically have the bare bones budget that you have plus any discretionary spending into your checkings account, and number 2, a zero-sum budget that lists out your bills and expenses. Meanwhile, you would have been depositing all your earnings inside a savings account and not a checkings account. And from here, you'll be paying any monthly bills that you designed with your plan, in addition to contributing to any savings or debt repayments that you need to make. The next strategy is to mark your bills as paid and end with 0. Since not all your bills will be due at the beginning of every single month, you do need a system in place where you can easily track and monitor your bill spending. One strategy you can implement is to pay bills twice in a given month. once in the beginning of the month, and secondly around the 15th of that month. At the beginning of the month, you can pay off any bills that are due or can accept earlier payment and are typically due in the middle of the month. And the second time, during the 15th, you can pay off any bills that came trickling in from the first couple of weeks of the month that are typically due at the end of the month. And ultimately, at the end of every single month, you'd come up with the zero-sum budget, meaning with all your bills paid and all your projected expenses paid off, then you should have very little remaining in your checkings account. And that's the goal of the zero-sum budget. And the next step, number 7, is to redo the process all over again. In theory, by contributing to your savings as well as paying yourself a steady income, this should reduce any stress or pressure that you might have from a fluctuating income. In addition, by paying yourself the same amount every single month, this should balance out any good months you might have or any bad months that you might have. The next step is to work out any kinks from your plans. And although living on a zero-sum budget isn't rocket science or anything like that, you might have to reevaluate the actual estimations that you make after every single month in order to get a more accurate zero-sum budget at the end of the month. At the end of the day, you need to realize that it was all worth it in the end. Before, you might have been living off of fluctuating income with a lot of uncertainty. However, after implementing with this zero-sum budget and giving yourself a steady income and contributing to your savings account, this deserves a congratulations and a pat on the back. The next and final step is to find a place to store all your savings. If you're following all these steps down to the T, then at the end of every single month, then you might have a surplus of cash that would directly go into your savings accounts. While it's smart to direct some of that into your emergency fund, if you have a surplus amount, then it might be smart to actually start looking into investment opportunities. Because remember, unless your savings account pays you a pretty high interest rate that's above the inflation rate, every single year you are losing purchasing power by keeping your money in the savings account. Furthermore, implementing this strategy can help you be more in control of your finances and cause you to have an even greater appreciation of every single dollar that you make. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And remember, if you want more content like this, remember to smash the subscribe button down below as well as ring the notification bell. Or you can also visit us at visitingthesimpledollar.com.